Welcome to In the Box Seat. I'm Ray Fewings. What a hell of a week we've had in greyhound racing. At the weekend, of course, the Australian Cup, St. Pierre, knocking off High Earner, the biggest earner of prize money ever to race in Australia. St. Pierre, of course, raced at Angle Park as a baby. He came over for I think it was the Derby, and he's been everywhere, wound up in Tasmania, and that was certainly his crowning glory. High Earner, though, lost a few friends and beat the rest of the field comfortably. And then, of course, Bobby Boucher in winning the distance race. This greyhound, of course, amazingly broke the 34 over the 600 metres in Melbourne a few months back. He's been campaigning in Perth over the longer distance, and he certainly was at his very, very best on Saturday night. Locally, next Thursday, we've got the $14,000 South Australian St Ledger. Robert Britton has 4 runners in it. There are only 2 South Australians. They are Grevillea Bale and Brahma Boy. And Grevillea Bale, we'll be talking to Sean Matcott very shortly, is one of the great chances from box number 2. I spoke with Robert Britton, and he believes that a New Year's Punch, the greyhound owned by the Western Bulldogs footballers, is badly drawn in 8. He's particularly worried that she might be back 4th, 5th, 6th on the first turn, and he says she won't go until she gets onto the rail. For that reason, he's expecting perhaps Grevillea Bale, Clay Pan, Robert Andrew, even Alan Radnor, which has brilliant early speed. He's expecting them to make the early pace. But Clay Pan is Britain's pick for the race, and he's got a great team going at the moment. He also spoke glowingly, and you'll read about it in Kennel Capers, he spoke glowingly about the grab-on lure here in South Australia. And he said he deliberately put his greyhounds in over here because he knew that 3 runs with the grab-on lure at Angle Park, they would go back to Melbourne as better dogs. So the debate goes on about whether we should have catching pen finishes or grab-on finishes. Put Robert Britton down as one who firmly believes that the greyhounds are keener when they can actually grab onto something at the end of the race. Now, racing nationally this weekend, it continues on with a lot of the good races going on. Shellhaven Greyhound Racing Club at Nowra, they've got the Summer Puppy Classic. That's on March the 14th. The Brandon's Queensland Derby, we saw Calden Mayhem, most unlucky from box 5 in the heats last week, got eliminated. He's back at Angle Park Thursday night over the 600 metres, drawn box 1. Do you think he won't take some beating? Although Cascade Star will go up against him there. That should be a terrific clash. But I reckon Calden Mayhem's probably the second best 600 dog in Australia at the moment, if not the world. So we'll see some real big things from him from box 1 on Thursday night. Anyway, he's out of the Queensland Derby, and of course that is on Thursday night. The Horsham Cup. I think there'll be a few South Australians in that. The best 64 greyhounds nominated for the Horsham Cup, and that's on March the 9th and also the 13th. And of course, the Bogey Lee Queensland Futurity is also being completed on Thursday night. So some great greyhound racing all around Australia in the next week coming up. Now, as far as the tip is concerned from the Honeys, they believe that on Thursday night, and in fact on Wednesday, Karen Bale is a good thing. It struck a good form lately, and they also believe that in race 10, number 5, Goosebumps, winner of 3 out of his last 4, fell last start, but they think will be very, very hard to beat. As far as the Honeys hot tips are concerned for Angle Park on Thursday night, well, they're braver than me. They've gone race 1, number 1, King's Mark. I've got a patch in my tie from backing King's Mark. He's been a very unreliable dog. Very consistent, the Honeys say, due for a change of luck. He's drawn to be in the firing line again, and they think he'll make do with a win on Thursday. In fact, they've gone even further, and the Honeys say that one of the best first 4s is race 1, 1, 4, 2, and 3. And they're going to follow up with race 2, number 2, Woodside Woody. He ran second to Salvador Bale in a heat of the Adelaide Cup, then followed up with the 6th to Perfect Fancy in a semi-final, and he was checked on a couple of occasions there. So they say Woodside Woody should run particularly well. They've got a first 4 for us there in race 2, 2, 6, 5 and 4. Now, this coming Sunday, Mount Gambier has a matinee meeting, and there's a Strathalbyn Twilight meeting as well this Sunday. So plenty to choose from there. And it was very interesting to see on Monday that some of the Mount Gambier dogs did particularly well when racing at Warrnambool. They really appreciated the near-home track. Dogs to watch, well, I reckon on Wednesday, Pure Envy is a surefire winner there. That's race 3, number 3, Pure Envy from the Jovanovic kennel. Trialled very well here recently, and it's in an open maiden. Has plenty of ability, and I think will probably show up. And there's a race I'm absolutely looking forward to, and that is race 10. All Is Cool is back after, I think he won 3 in a row. He's back after a bit of a break, and he's going to clash with Goosebumps. And Scotty Goes Red. Colin Swain has done an absolutely super job with Scotty Goes Red, who's put together a winning streak after coming from New South Wales. He certainly has raced far better than his previous form. As far as Thursday night is concerned, I think probably Claypan is the dog to beat in the St Ledger, but I'm looking forward to a couple of the big clashes. Calden Mayhem up against Cascader Star. That's race 5. Where's Cisco's back to very good form. He's up against the prolific winner Cool in Blue in race 7. Cisco's drawn 4. Cool in Blue has won 32 races. She's drawn 7. And then, of course, I've got the big one, the St Ledger final, immediately after that, race number 8. It should be an absolute fantastic couple of days of greyhound racing, and we'll be back in a moment with Sean Matcott to find out exactly how Grevillea Bale is going to go in the big one. You're on In the Box seat, and I'm looking forward to my next guest, Sean Matcott. Never had a chance to speak with Sean. We know he's the winningest greyhound trainer in Australia. We know he's a workaholic. We know that sometimes he has 15, 20 greyhounds in at the meeting. I want to know what makes him tick, but also more importantly, I want to know how Grevillea Bale is going to go in the South Australian St Ledger on Thursday night. Welcome to In the Box seat, Sean.
Thanks, Ray. Pleasure to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. Grevillea Bale, you've done a mighty job with this greyhound, and it looks to be beautifully set up in box 2 for the final.
Yeah, I like the box she drew. We were hoping she was going to draw 1 or 2, but she still needs a bit of luck. It's a very good field, and there's still a bit of speed on the outside of us.
Tell us a bit about this dog. Is it one of the one that raced in Victoria first, or has it come straight to you?
No, she raced over in Victoria for Graham Bait, and she won a couple over there, I think, and then we got her over here and we trialled her, and she didn't trial much good. Mm-hmm. And we thought, well, could be up for sale, but then all of a sudden she's just coming out.
And you've really got her peaking through this series, haven't you? I mean, she's running terrific splits, and she's running 29 7s, 29 8s. If she does that from box 2, the Vicks will be chasing.
Yeah, she's got to be able to repeat it again, and like the St Ledger, the final, it's a lot more pressure, and we'll just see how she goes.
And has she done well since?
She has.
Yeah. Well, that's good news. Of course, Britain's got 4 in. He's hit you with everything.
Yeah, he has, and I'm glad the dog he's got from box 8, I'm glad it's out there, because I thought if he drew the inside, we're in big trouble.
You wouldn't like that on your bumper bar, would you?
No, well, even if it is on my bumper bar at the first turn, I think I might be in getting a bit of a hurry up.
Fair enough too, but at least your dog's been racing very, very consistently, and you just might pull a 10th or 2 out of the hat. You never know. Yeah,
well, I think she's still got a little bit more improvement left in her, but I don't think there's too much more left in her.
Now tell us about the system. You train, 200-300 winners a year?
4 years ago we trained 406.
How do you keep your enthusiasm up? I mean, you go home from the meeting and it's on again tomorrow and it's on again the day after. Is it just that you love greyhounds and you love winning, or is it just you're in it for 4 or 5 years, you're going to give it everything? What's the plan?
Well, we've got a long-term plan for 10 years and to build the place up, and our eldest daughter, Ellie, she wants to take over.
Right. Well, that's great. And of course, your partner Wendy Smith is a granddaughter of Rex Clemmo, who's one of the great pioneers of greyhound racing in South Australia.
Shonky, I call him Shonky.
Well, we used to call him Chubby. And he was chubby too. But of course, I remember even his father, Ernie. So it goes back. He goes back a hell of a long way.
Yeah, it does.
Now, tell us about the Wheeler setup. We know that the Wheelers send dogs all around Australia, and they breed thousands and thousands upon winners. There are 4 or 5 trainers that get their dogs in South Australia. How do they decide which dogs go where?
Paul just makes the decision, and he just tells his trainers in Melbourne who's due for a batch, and just go that way.
I see you've got a new batch lately. You've got quite a few maidens coming through, and of got a few in on Wednesday, a few newies. So you're always getting fresh ones?
Yeah, we are. We've got a lot of fresh ones coming soon, so straight from Paul's place, so we'll just see what happens with them.
You'd be his golden-haired boy, wouldn't you? 400 winners a year.
No, not really.
Well, good luck. There are 4 South Australians in. You've also got one of the emergencies, Tamika Bale. But Grevilla Bale only has to maintain the form, and you're going to go a hell of a long way towards picking up that 14 grand. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's Sean Matcott. He's a hard worker. He's a big winner. And he's certainly got a great team of greyhounds, well worth following in anything at the moment. You've been watching In the Box Seat. Good luck with your bets on Wednesday and Thursday.